Welcome to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Today, we'll show you how to use the spirit of love and self-worth to improve the connections with everyone else in your life. This program is your weekly gift, and it will keep on giving. You'll see. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jean Marie Farish.
Well, hello and welcome, everyone. It's a beautiful day, and I hope you're all faring well. I'm Dr. Jean Marie, your host, and I am just delighted for you to join us live on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, shining love light into your hearts and homes to empower your life with love. We have a great show today. Sharing your story is part of healing with our amazing guest, Deslynn Jaquias, joining us from Hawaii. Have you ever read a story that spoke to your heart and the message was exactly what you needed to hear? Sharing our experiences with others is truly heart work and a courageous step toward healing. Your story may be just the key to unlock the door of someone else's prison. Maya Angelou quotes, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." And Iyanla Vanzant quotes, "When you stand and share your story in an empowering way, your story will heal you and your story will heal somebody else." You know, loss and change are universal experiences of life. And now more than ever, we need to witness how others have and are overcoming their struggles. Stories provide nourishment and companionship with others, and our experiences bind us with others as we form a bond of healing that enables us to move forward and not remain stuck in memories of the past. Writing my own what I call my love story, highlighted in my book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being, it helped me connect the dots and make sense of my experiences using the power of Sankofa from the Akan tribe in Ghana, symbolized by a mythical bird with his feet pointed forward, with his head turned backward, taking a fertile egg. And for me, looking back and taking what's fertile enabled me to move forward. It helped me own and embrace my life experiences, the joys and the struggles, and stand in my power through self-love and self-compassion, of which I am truly grateful, that made me the person who I am and who I am becoming. And our amazing guest, Deslynn Jaquias, again joining us from Hawaii, will share how our stories are part of healing. She has been on her own healing journey that has inspired her work with others. She's the owner of Kauai Girl and Healing with Aloha brands, and she's the mother, proud mother, a motivational speaker, podcaster, and empowerment coach. Deslynn's resilience was built through guidance of her faith, mother, grandparents, journaling, dancing, and singing, which helped her overcome many losses, including the loss of her sister, who gave her the motivation to launch her podcast. Deslynn's dream is to bring hope and healing with Aloha globally as a motivational speaker. And that she certainly does. To have peace with her past alone is a blessing, and she would like to empower others to feel it too. She's been public speaking since 1994 for churches, nonprofit organizations, and schools in Hawaii. And she's been a mentor for the Honolulu Community Action Program, educating teens on HIV and drug use. So now I welcome Deslynn to our show. Welcome, Deslynn, and a hearty welcome to our listeners from Hawaii and around the world.
Aloha, everyone. I'm Deslynn Jaquias. I'm from the island of Kauai. It's the oldest Hawaiian island, and I'm truly grateful to be here this morning.
Well, thank you, Deslynn. It's a pleasure to have you back. And, you know, almost every day, whether directly or vicariously, we are not removed from the experiences of grief and loss. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, so basically, back in 2001, my younger sister, she was 23. She passed away after being in a vehicle accident. And that experience definitely changed me forever. And it taught me a lot about how life is precious and that tomorrow isn't promised to no one. Um, it was a difficult journey. 6 years after she passed away, I'm sorry, 5 years after she passed away is when I got therapy. And then in the process of grieving for her, I was able to do it on multiple layers of grief for previous experiences that I never dealt with. And therapy definitely helped me to uncover those experiences and to start healing.
Yes, you've had such an amazing journey, and you have really used your experiences and your story to empower others. What have you learned from grief and loss?
I've learned that, um, when you face a loss, you experience that nothing is final and that we're forever changing, and that it's not gonna magically go away, and that you have to give yourself permission to 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 go through whatever grief that you're going through, because every relationship is different, and every loss is going to be different, and sometimes it's going to weigh heavier on your heart than others.
Yes, that's so powerful because, what I found, we have to kind of surrender and let go and, learn from what others have taught us throughout our lives to move forward. Uh, why is it important to share your story, and how is it healing for those out there who are saying, gosh, I mean, I can't see any benefit in my story. Gosh, I've had all these bad experiences. No one wants to hear that. So can you really shed light on why it's important to share your story, and why is it and how is it healing?
So what I found is that depending on how we grew up and how we were taught, some of us weren't given permission to share our
Yes.
feelings and our thoughts and our life experiences at a young age. So as we get older and we start experiencing like grief and changes in life, divorce, other secondary losses, we don't know how to respond because from a young age we were taught not to talk about things, not to share what we're going through, and so it can almost paralyze us. And so when we get older, it's important for us to find people who we feel we can trust, we can feel safe with, whether it's, if it's you're from a fellowship of believers, or if you find a therapist or counselor, because when you feel that shame and guilt about your story, it doesn't allow you to move forward. Like you want to move forward, but then you can't because there's that idea that if people really knew you, they wouldn't like you. But in reality, everybody is going through their own struggles and their own journey. And sometimes when you let others know what you're going through, it's only then that they can hold space for you and have compassion and empathy for you.
Wow, that is so powerful because, what you're saying, many people have been taught to shut down,
Yes.
don't know how to feel. And I know working with clients, I had a client and she said, well, gosh, I don't know how to feel. I have numbed out. And, I have to really define feeling words because I don't know how to feel. So, many numb out. And as you indicated, we're taught that, okay, just get on with it, fake it till you make it, right?
Yes.
And then we're living with all of these repressed feelings buried inside of us, right?
Yeah. And then, more things happen. And then it's like you finally get to a point where it's too much.
Yes, yes, yes. And when did you start sharing your story, and what was the impact on you? And also with those who you shared. There's a lot packed there, but just flow with flow with it. You're an expert here on sharing your story.
I started sharing a little bit here and there. when I moved away, I was 19 when I moved away, and I started attending this church. But what I can honestly say is that sometimes not everybody wants to hear your story. Not
Yes.
everybody has the ability to show compassion on you. And so I did start sharing things, but I think the people when I was in my early 20s, they were emotionally or spiritually prepared to hear the type of stories, because not everybody comes from, you know, a life that is easy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all have our challenges and whatnot, but for some people it's heavy. And so I realized that when I went into my 30s and then I started seeking therapy, I seen the dynamics and how difficult it was. So I felt like in my early 30s when I went to get therapy for my sister, that was when I was able to start sharing my story with someone who I felt was equipped
Yes.
to hold space for me, which I realized not everybody can do.
Yes, that's so important. You have to, feel safe, right?
Yes.
To
Mhm.
feel safe and be around supportive people who are non-judgmental, who can allow you to express your feelings, because facing yourself is difficult. And, and one thing you mentioned about stories, even in my writing, I just pray that whoever needs to hear this, will access this article or my books or whatever. So I don't write or share information, trying to get people to connect with, but more or less they'll find what they need. And I pray for that type of divine guidance.
Yeah, definitely. I what I learned also is, in sharing your story, even if you touch one life, even
Yes.
if you connect with one person, that's one person more than none. And it does take courage to be able to share your story. Some people can do it, on social media and
Hmm.
free, but for some people it could just be in person. You see someone going through something and they are unaware that you understand, and just
Yes.
letting them know this is what I've been through and whatnot. That's very comforting.
But let's face it, Deslin, there's no perfect life, and we're brought here into our lifetime in order to love more, love ourselves, love others, and benefit through our connections with others. So it's not just the crystal stair. Life is not just the crystal stair. We have to really learn from these experiences and grow. And being vulnerable, right? Because
Hmm.
sharing your story is there's a vulnerability there. What I found as I was writing and connecting more with myself, parts of me came up that I was unaware of, and I use the analogy of coming down from the valley and moving up the mountain. And as I circle the mountain, it's like, wow, gosh, you didn't even remember that. I was kind of looking on myself, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
go
true.
ahead. Hmm.
No, the phrase that says you're stronger than you think. And I
Yes.
think like what you're saying is like when you were reflecting as you were writing and you're looking at your life, it's like, wow, like I've come through a lot. And I think when you share your story, it also reminds you how far you've come. And
Yes.
we got to give ourselves credit, because there's things that we've been through on the back end that no one knows about, but
Yes.
we've been through it, and those are the things that we have to cherish, because we can tend to just go, but we don't look at how far we've come, and we have to count the wins. The small wins adds up.
Yes, that is so important. And going back to me, kind of connecting the dots for myself, there were times that I felt very sad. And there were times I felt very joyful. And there were times that I said, okay, I have to stop. I can't go any further. I have to go out and connect with nature, do something fun and joyful, not just stay there and, and just let the feelings outpour. So I knew when to stop, when to let go, when to refresh, and when to come back.
Yes, and that takes practice.
Hmm.
That's something
Yes.
I'm still learning. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's so uncomfortable to like you said, if you're so used to being numb, and I can relate, if you're so used to like suppressing your feelings and your emotions, that when you have people who actually can understand and support you, it's scary, but it's worth it, and it does take courage. But in order to heal, it's like you almost have to go back and look at the scabs and allow yourself to look at it and realize like, wow, I went through that. Like it really happened, and I'm able to move forward and get the tools to learn how to move forward.
Yeah. What are some of the most pending issues for people dealing with loss?
It's multi-layer. I think for some people, like if it's an unexpected loss, it's the regret of not being able to say more or do more, and for some people, like when someone dies, it's like you die inside.
Yes.
Because there's that part of you that goes with them. Yes. And then there's some people who, they were able to build memories and to start to like say goodbye because they had time to. And so it just really depends on each, the way each person passed from this life to the next. That really has like, that determines a lot of where the grief can become difficult for some people to handle.
Yes, I think I shared with you, Deslynn, how I just lost my pet that I've had with me, a Cocker Spaniel, for almost 20 years. And it's like, gosh, I had that sadness. And then I said, okay, let me think about the joyful memories, the good times, because so many times we get into the sadness and I say, okay, as we lose our pets or loved ones or experience these losses from death, it's like they're only transcending, right? And in another form, and only the physical form dies away. So that's encouraging.
Yeah, and it really depends. Like everybody has a different way of looking at things, and there's no guilt or no shame in how you go about it. It's just everybody processes differently. I just did an interview with someone about dealing with the loss of a companion, a pet, and they said, that relationship was harder to process than the loss of her parent. And it's just because, her pet was with her like for 10 years every day, and so that's something to consider.
And our pets give us that unconditional love. So, but Deslynn, we're kind of getting ready for a brief commercial break. So for our listeners, don't go away. We will be right back with more on sharing your story is part of healing with our amazing guest, Deslynn Jaquias, joining us today from Hawaii, founder of Healing with Aloha. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Announcing Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations. This is the companion piece to Dr. Farish's best-selling book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being. Through the new book, we invite you to cultivate a lifestyle of love through daily devotional practices over a 21-day period, following 9 ingredients in the recipe of love. Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations is available on Amazon.com and Balboa Press.
Jean Marie Farish's Center for Conscious Loving, LLC, cultivates a lifestyle of love and wholehearted connections through personal growth, altruistic services, and speaking engagements. Resources include classes, workshops, life care coaching, and creative service projects with an emphasis on cultural arts. Visit the website at drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. That's drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. Or click the link on the Love Light show page.
Best-selling Authors International news honors best-selling authors around the globe. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is featured in the newly released issue of Published magazine. To have first access to this treasured resource, go to publishedmagazine.com. Vicki Winterton and Dr. Jean Marie Farish have compiled a dynamic book, We're All in This Together, Embrace One Another, an anthology with 24 highly diverse co-authors who share how to spread the message of love, resilience, inclusivity, and compassion. This book is an invaluable source of uplifting, inspiring, and positive insights for spreading positivity in the world. We're All in This Together, Embrace One Another is available on Amazon.com. Be sure to get your copy today. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is proud to announce the release of her new book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being, available now at Balboa Press. This book will help you master your life and flourish in love. You'll learn how to become a better and more evolved you. Feel good by making life-affirming choices. Deepen your feelings and expressions of love. Tune in love and sustain the change. And flourish in love and find your joy. Visit BalboaPress.com and search for Living in the Spirit of Love and enjoy Dr. Farish's new book today. Ascension expert Judy Satori's Ascension Library will activate your true soul and human potential. Access a selection of audio-based meditations, energy transmissions, and live-streamed video events. Transform your reality with popular programs such as the transcripts of Mary Magdalene for heart opening, beautiful, to radiate your inner beauty, and the body balancing and physical regeneration pathway to become more energized. Ignite your spark and live a life of passion and purpose. Explore membership options to activate a 5-day free trial. Visit ascensionlibrary.org.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
Well, welcome back to Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love. And if you're just joining us, we are with our amazing guest, Deslynn Jaquias, founder of Healing with Aloha, joining us today from Hawaii on Sharing Your Story is Part of Healing. And thank you, Deslynn, for the first segment, sharing why it's so important and sharing your experiences and how it is empowering for us to do so. Deslynn, when did you actually begin healing from your hurtful life experiences? Because as you mentioned earlier, people just kind of let them pile up from one experience to the next. You repress your feelings. And many, what I realize, don't even realize, that they have this mountain of feelings and emotions inside. When did you actually begin? When did you realize you needed healing?
Before I begin, I wanted to share. So I'm on a Hawaiian island, and if you guys can hear in the background, there's a lot of roosters. They're all wild, and they're just running amok out in my neighborhood. So if you hear anything, it's me.
I love it. I asked Deslynn about that during commercial break. I just love the roosters and the chickens. So they're joining us today as well. So thank you. And you mentioned that as a result of the inclement weather, they're all out there, all around.
Well, we went through a hurricane. Well, we had 2 hurricanes on this island, but the second hurricane, there's a lot of people had chickens and roosters that were in cages, and then they broke free and they just keep multiplying. And so you'll see them. If you ever visit this island, you'll see them. They'll be at restaurants, at hotels, everything.
Oh, I hope to. Yeah. I hope to. So, Deslynn, thank you for that. Go ahead.
For your question regarding when did I begin my healing? Honestly, I was 31 years old when I felt like I started to deal with my hurtful life experiences. My sister's passing was so hard for me. And I was encouraged. I have another sister. She encouraged me to seek therapy. And like you said, when you go through so much and you keep like sliding it under the rug and just like, yes. Okay, I'm okay. Because that's pretty much what it was. It was I was 31 years old when I started to do with those things. And it was so emotional and it was so hard because, like I said, until you find someone you can feel safe and you can trust, and you can, talk about these things, you just hope that you can just make believe what you went through didn't happen, but eventually it catches up to you.
I love that, because even as I was going back through my life, and I have a endearing spiritual friend who has walked with me through the course of my life for many years. And, when I would reach certain points and I would communicate with her, and she said, well, you remember when? And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And she would shed light on things that I had forgotten about, because she's really intuitive and a spiritual person. And I really love, our connection and relationship.
But, think about it, like with that relationship, her ability to remind you of things.
Yes.
In a way of encouragement, though, like, remember this, you went through this.
Yes.
You can get through this, remember this. And you're like,
yes.
I kind of remember, but thank you for reminding me. Oh, okay. Yes, you're right.
Yes. And she never lets me stay down. It's like, okay, enough of that. And I love that kind of connection, to have special people whom you can trust and really want the best for you. And let's talk a little bit about feelings of unworthiness and lack of self-love. Many people feel like, gosh, I don't deserve joy. I don't deserve to feel happy. I feel guilt. I feel shame. I blame myself for the divorce, or for the loss, or I should have been there before the accident, or whatever. And they can't. They're living their lives with so much regret, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Trapped in that. So shed light on this lack of worthiness and lack of self-love. That we have to really break through to, really face ourselves in a healthy way.
Yeah, what helped me was when my grandmother, my grandmother passed. She was my last grandparent, and she's like one of my best friends. In 2019, one of the things she told me is that you have to do what makes you happy, because in the end you can't blame no one.
Yes.
And I was like, it's easy for you to say that, you know what I mean?
Yes, easier said than done.
She had lived a long life and whatnot. But what I learned from her is that it's a decision. And when I look at the people who, my dad passed away, my grandparents and my sister, the type of people that they were, I realized that they would have wanted us to be happy.
Yes, lots of wisdom in that.
And so when you live your life and you allow joy in and you embrace it, it's like them rejoicing with you, because they wouldn't want you to just focus on them, like that you're with them, like they're with you as you navigate life, and that when you're happy, they're happy too.
Yes, the choices that we have to make. To our listeners, let yourself gently off the hook, right?
Yes.
You have a choice. You can decide in every moment, do I want to stay stuck here? Not saying that you shouldn't express and feel your feelings, and there are ways you can do that, but also give yourself a break and think of joyful memories, joyful times, or do things that make you feel joy. I know Deslynn does singing and dancing and all kinds of things that changes your vibration, right? It raises your vibration.
Yeah, being able to identify, like, even if it's just one activity, like, like art, or like going to the beach or whatever it is, like in that way, like it doesn't have to be something that's like major, but in the way that it sparks joy and love within you again. It honestly, with my sister, I had a hard time giving myself permission to experience joy, because as an older sister, I felt like I could have done better. I could have done this or done that, but really, there's nothing I could have done to change the what had happened. But it's a conscious decision that we are worthy of feeling joy and love, And, through the podcast, I've met so many people who have experienced loss and how they also have to learn to open their hearts again. Because basically, it's sometimes we shut down.
That is so true, Deslynn. I remember when I wrote my first book, The Long Journey Home, after my trek in Malaysia, and I got back, and it was life-changing. And, it's like, gosh, I didn't realize I was so shut down. I didn't realize it until I really went to another place, experienced love and a quiet peace and, engaging life experiences. And I was like, gosh, something has happened. The change was gradual. And I was like, gosh, you didn't even know how shut down you were, so that's so important. And Deslynn, you're going to take us through some affirmations, right? You're going to share it with listeners. So let me just shut up for a moment and let you take it away with your affirmation.
Okay, so I found some affirmations that you may find helpful. The first one is, I'll take things on with a gentle approach. I'll take things on with a gentle approach. That word gentle is not something that all of us felt, compassion. And so, telling yourself this affirmation, I will take things on with the gentle approach. It's telling your brain that, okay, we're going through something that isn't easy. It's difficult, but we're going to handle it with a gentle approach as we learn how to process this. And so that's the first one.
I love that. I'll take things with a gentle approach. Being gentle with yourself. I love that. And we have to know, okay, I can't just sit here and self-criticize and judge myself harshly. Again, let yourself off the hook. I always think to myself, Deslynn, is what I am thinking and feeling an act of love for myself? And it's like, okay, you have to let that go. Let's change here. Don't go down that rabbit hole, right?
Yeah. And you know what? I remember you explaining this to me. Is this loving? Is this kind? Because the inner voice that we have is not always loving, and it isn't always kind. And sometimes we need to acknowledge it and be like, wait a minute, like, okay, maybe someone was harsh to us. Was it showing compassion to us? But now we can start doing that for ourselves.
And there's one other point about that. A lot of times, even in our interactions with others, and let's say you were treated unkind in an interaction, and most people may leave the interaction and start blaming themselves. Oh gosh, what did I do? Oh, and you're going through your whole conversation. And most of the time, Deslynn, what I have learned is not even about me.
Yeah.
It's I examined myself and I was like, okay, did I say anything off? Was I, did I say something wrong? Whatever. And it's like, okay, no, you did not. So it's about that person. Leave it there with that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something I did, I want to be apologetic. But a lot of times we take on things that really are not the truth of who we are.
Yeah, it's just sometimes people impose it upon us as if it's us, but really it's their own perspective.
Yes. Okay. Your other end, you have more information.
Yeah, and this one is the next two. They're interrelated, but it's I will get through this. It's something so simple, but really affirming to yourself that you're going to get through this.
Yes.
Because you will. You don't know how, but you will. I will get through this is another affirmation.
I love that because you're telling yourself a positive message. And then after a while, it's like, to me, you can't, joy and pain, don't mix. And if you stay in a positive mode, at some point, you'll actually believe that this is true. Go ahead, continue.
And the third one is, I will heal through this. I will heal through this. Giving yourself permission to heal, because maybe for so long we're used to numbing out or not feeling, but telling ourselves that I will heal through this. This moment isn't what I expected, wanted, desired, but I'm going to heal through this. It doesn't have to be today.
Yes.
It may take years, it may take days or weeks, but I will heal through this.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Before we go on commercial break, Deslynn, explain the value of light and love as it is to own your truth and story.
So the value of light and love, I realized that in order for us to feel joy, when we stay in the dark, we won't be able to feel joy because we have to come into the light. And sometimes when we're coming into the light, we have to address the things that doesn't make us feel joy. And when we start to address, this is what happened to me, or this is what said to me, and you start to unload, then you can start to reach love. And a lot of the love that we want from other people, it's really the love we have to have for ourselves.
That is so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing those empowering affirmations. I'll take things on with a gentle approach, right? Yep. Right, gentle approach. And I will get through this. I will heal through this. Very 3 powerful affirmations. So we're going to be moving into a commercial break in just a moment. So don't go away. We will be right back with more on sharing your story is part of healing with our amazing guest, Deslynn Jaquias, joining us today from Hawaii. She's the founder of Healing with Aloha. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Vicki Winterton and Dr. Jean Marie Farish have compiled a dynamic book, We're All in This Together, Embrace One Another, an anthology with 24 highly diverse co-authors who share how to spread the message of love, resilience, inclusivity, and compassion. This book is an invaluable source of uplifting, inspiring, and positive insights for spreading positivity in the world. We're All in This Together. Embrace One Another is available on Amazon.com. Be sure to get your copy today. Ascension expert Judy Satori's Ascension Library will activate your true soul and human potential. Access a selection of audio-based meditations, energy transmissions, and live-streamed video events. Transform your reality with popular programs such as the transcripts of Mary Magdalene for heart opening, beautiful, to radiate your inner beauty, and the body balancing and physical regeneration pathway to become more energized. Ignite your spark and live a life of passion and purpose. Explore membership options to activate a 5-day free trial. Visit ascensionlibrary.org. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is proud to announce the release of her new book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being, available now at Balboa Press. This book will help you master your life and flourish in love. You'll learn how to become a better and more evolved you. Feel good by making life-affirming choices. Deepen your feelings and expressions of love. Tune in love and sustain the change. And flourish in love and find your joy. Visit BalboaPress.com and search for Living in the Spirit of Love and enjoy Dr. Farish's new book today. Announcing Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations. This is the companion piece to Dr. Farish's best-selling book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being. Through the new book, we invite you to cultivate a lifestyle of love through daily devotional practices over a 21-day period, following 9 ingredients in the recipe of love. Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations is available on Amazon.com and Balboa Press.
Jean Marie Farish's Center for Conscious Loving, LLC, cultivates a lifestyle of love and wholehearted connections through personal growth, altruistic services, and speaking engagements. Resources include classes, workshops, life care coaching, and creative service projects with an emphasis on cultural arts. Visit the website at drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. That's drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. Or click the link on the Love Light show page.
Best-selling authors international news honors best-selling authors around the globe. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is featured in the newly released issue of Published magazine. To have first access to this treasured resource, go to publishedmagazine.com.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
Well, welcome back to Love Light, living in the spirit of love. Again, if you're just joining us, we're with our amazing guest, Deslynn Jaquias. And Deslynn, I indicated that I may have been pronouncing your name wrong. So
yeah, my last name is Jaquias.
Jaquias, all right. I've been practicing. Founder of Healing with Aloha, and she's joining us today from Hawaii on Sharing Your Story is Part of Healing. And thank you, Deslynn, for sharing those empowering affirmations. And you have a Healing with Aloha podcast. Can you tell us about that? Who you tune into, and what are the messages and anything you like to share? Maybe testimonials from those who've tuned in?
Yes. So this podcast, it's about bringing hope and healing with Aloha globally. We talk about grief, we talk about mental health, we talk about healing, and we talk about passion. Because, in order for us to move forward, it's important for us to have passion, things that we enjoy. So as we navigate life, we're able to adapt. And the guests that I've had, they come from all over the world, as far as to New Zealand, Australia. I'm in Hawaii, and so it's an honor and privilege to have everybody. A lot of the guests, believe it or not, their first time being on a podcast, and so I really am grateful for their courage to share their lived experiences and their wisdom.
Yes. For those who tuned in, do you ever get feedback from how maybe it has been helpful?
Yes. I have people who are really grateful, because I'm mostly on Instagram, Healing with Aloha. The podcast, you can find it on Anchor.fm and Spotify, Healing with Aloha. But I have people who listen in who dealt with child loss.
Yes.
And who've dealt with widow loss, sibling loss, and, people who are dealing with their mental health. And they're really appreciative, because it helps them to not feel alone, to know that someone can relate to them, because they can feel so isolated. And especially during the pandemic,
yes.
People were able, last year, I was able to go live on Instagram. And so the interviews were, they didn't make it on the podcast, but they were live on Instagram. So then people are able to watch the replays, and it allowed people to find contacts with people that they would never know about, because of the type of topics that I deal with. I say, I talk about the hard things, but I'm willing to do it because it gives people hope and to not feel alone in their journey.
Yes. That is so powerful. Journaling can be helpful for, if you're dealing with expressing your emotions. Any particular techniques, or, maybe some thoughts for listeners, final tips or whatever for encouragement?
Yeah, when you do journaling, for some people it's writing. For some people, it's maybe recording, your thoughts and feelings. There's so many apps nowadays that you can download. maybe you're having a thought or feeling. I've had moments where I press the record on my cell phone and then I just express myself.
Nice.
And it's not something that like I necessarily share on social media. It's just there's a thought or feeling that comes across me and I don't want to forget it. And so then I note it. And that's a great way. There's really no right or wrong way to be able to journal. It could be, for some people, they use journaling just to share gratitude, because that's what helps them to be forward thinking. For me, when my sister passed away, I was having a difficult time because I wanted to, see her, speak to her. And so I had a journal, and it was just letters that was specifically written to her about what's going on. Like my other sister got married. This is what's going on. It's the holidays. So it didn't feel like it was just one-sided. Like I felt like, it was my way of communicating to her. So that's another way of using the journaling. It could be your way of connecting with someone.
I love that. And Deslynn, I must say that my prayer is to let all be known to me. I ask for the divine guidance. Let all be known to me, and reveal for my healing. And boy, sometimes it's like going through my day or whatever, something will come up. And I just say, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, praying to your higher power is important to help you to feel grounded, and also meditating. Because sometimes our brain is just overwhelmed, and our ability to bring calm is not taught to us. And for some of us, we're starting to do that. And it's important, because the overthinking is what can prevent us from healing.
You're right. I love the meditational walks, to kind of be quiet in nature. And, it's a way to be gentle with yourself, where you talked about that. Don't, engage in those self-defeating conversations with yourself, because we're always talking to ourselves, right? And to get away from that, quiet your mind, meditational walks, whatever is needed for you to be calm and gentle with yourself. Do it.
Yeah, and for some people, they choose to do something vigorous, like they go exercising, they go hiking.
Yes.
So like we were talking about earlier, is like doing things that bring you joy, and allowing your body to move, and to let yourself express yourself creatively, intuitively. It doesn't have to be one way. Maybe right now this is what works for you, and then you'll find like later this is what works for you. And so just being aware of what helps you to express whatever it is that's within you to come out.
Yes, music, like you indicated, moving your body, kind of getting rid of that stuck energy. I love yoga, and it helps me calm myself, and even, exercising my body in a healthy way. So I just love that. Deslynn, can you share with us how listeners can connect with you?
Yes. So the best way to find me is I'm on Instagram, Healing with Aloha, on Facebook, Healing with Aloha. If you're on YouTube, it's Healing with Aloha Podcast. And my email is healingwithalohapodcast@gmail.com. Definitely reach out to me. Let me know you listened to, on here. And if you have any questions, or if you're interested on being a special guest, I'd love to have you.
Okay.
It's just a special honor to meet people, connect with them, and allow them to share.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Deslynn, for joining us today. Very nicely done. You've been so encouraging, and you've shown us the value of sharing our story and how empowering it is, and for those healing affirmations. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so connect with Deslynn, tune into her podcast, Healing with Aloha, and take advantage of those empowering conversations. Join us next week for our show, Step into the Flow of Inner Calm and Clarity with Holly Copeland. Visit the blog page of my website for your weekly love practice exercise at www.jeanferrisjourney.com. Thanks to the Voice America team for making this show a reality and for shining their love light around the world. In my article published in Savannah East, Overcoming Life Trials Through 4 Pillars of Spiritual Resilience, I highlight joyful surrender, true grace, divine love, and the spirit of gratitude. Lift the cloak of heaviness and exchange it for the garment of praise. This is the season for healing, renewal, and new beginnings. I'm Dr. Jean Marie, your Love Light host, coming to you from Voice America. Until we meet again, remember, an empowered self is a loving self, and keep your love light shining. We're going to close out today with Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Iz, a beloved Hawaiian singer and activist. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
Aloha.
thank you for listening to Love Light this week. Be sure to join Dr. Jean Marie Farish again for another program next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and noon Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a wonderful week filled with love, self-worth, and better connections.